OCOCA. If any of you have been in the military, you know this acronym. You better know it. Never forget it. We'll go over it quickly here, and then I'll talk about each point. If I am going to protect any piece of property in the world, this is what I'm looking at as a guidepost of, hey, I need to defend this property, I need to defend this retreat, this subdivision, my community. This is what I'm looking for. Observation in fields of fire, cover and concealment, obstacles, key terrain, and avenues of approach. This is what I am worried about, the first thing. I'll go over each one so you can copy it then if you don't got it. Observation in fields of fire. Can observe in all directions of your retreat. You have to have 360-degree observation. You have to. If you do not, do whatever you can to get it. The reason is you might have, I can watch all this except I can't watch back here. A smart guy like me that has no morals, guess what I'm going to do? I did this for a living, and there's millions of guys just like me that retire and get out of the service every day. Granted, 99% of them are good moral guys, and hopefully they'll be on our side doing what's right, but there's going to be a small percentage doing what's wrong. If you don't have that area under observation, guess where I'm coming? I'm going to come right through there, and I'll knock on your door. You have to be able to observe it, plus be able to defend it. I have to be able to fire at a threat in that location. If I see the threat, I can see it, but I have to physically be able to stop that threat with whatever means I have at my disposal. So observe, and you have to stop the threat. Next is cover and concealment. We're trying to defend a fixed location, be it my retreat or your home or subdivision. Two things we're looking at. We're looking at cover and concealment. First thing is cover. We know what cover is. This is what stops a bullet from hitting me or what I don't want to get hit, like a piece of equipment that I'm trying to protect. That's cover. Next is concealment. Concealment is people seeing you. I do not want people to see me, because if people that are bad can see me, they can study my defense. They know where I am. Cover and concealment. I'm going to try to defend this piece of property. Cover and concealment around my property, I have to remember. Next is obstacles. An obstacle is anything you put out there to slow down the bad guy, to stop the bad guy, or to redirect him, change his direction. These can be natural obstacles. Anything that's naturally out there that he can't get through is an obstacle. I can take that obstacle and reinforce it. So I have a pretty good natural obstacle. Let me wrap it around with some barbed wire. And guess what? I made it a natural obstacle and a man-made. It just reinforced it. We want to slow him down. We want to stop him. We want to change his direction. You're saying, why do I want to slow him down? All right, you got 6 guys moving against our subdivision that look mean. I want them to slow down because I want to evaluate if they really look mean or they're just dead tired and they're looking for some food. So if I can slow them down, I can mentally evaluate to the best of my knowledge what their goal is. Are they trying to kill me, steal from me, or are they just lost, hungry people just like me? So if I slow them down, I have more chance to observe them. If they are a threat, if they slow down, I have more time to deal with that threat. My ultimate goal is to stop them. If I have an obstacle that physically stops them cold, if I realize they're a threat, it's much easier to hit a moving or a stationary target than a moving target. And all you agree. So it gives me a better chance to neutralize that threat against my subdivision. You might want to change his direction. Because the lay of the land here, I have a really strong defense right here. These people can just watch this area. But over here, because of the vegetation, I can't really protect as well as I want to. So we put an obstacle out there, so whoever's coming, be him good or bad, hits the obstacle, it directs them right where I want them, right where I can deal with them. If they're not a threat, I can deal with it. If they are a threat, they're exactly in my kill zone. And that's what it's called. It's my engagement area or my kill zone. I'm using a lot of things that come from the military because there's no need to reinvent the wheel. They do this every day in all parts of the world. Fencing. I want to talk about fencing. I love fencing. If you have a place to put up fencing and it looks good and it will match your subdivision, put it up now. First of all, you might not need it for raw, But if the economy keeps deteriorating and there's more break-ins and more people stealing stuff, that fence will protect you now. It might make that guy, hey, look at your neighbor's house, because he doesn't have to climb over a fence, then climb over my fence. Fencing. What's fencing do? It slows them down, it stops them. Yes, they can cut the fence, they can climb over the fence, but it gives you more time to react. It also gives you a mindset. In my property, I have 3.5 acres totally fenced in with 2 large dogs in it. If someone climbs over my fence, right now I'm a little worried because no one in their right mind would climb over my fence with 2 big dogs in there. So that gives me a little idea of what their mindset is. They might mean business. You know, you can stay right at the gate and just holler for me. I'll come out the front door. So fencing is important. Work it in. Use whatever fencing looks good for your subdivision or wherever you live. It's easier to put fencing up now than in a crisis situation. Next is plants. This gets back to the obstacle, natural obstacle, blackberries. Everybody knows you're not going to go through a big thicket of blackberries. So use what you have. Maybe you can plant some blackberries, which will do a few things. First of all, it'll give you food now. It will give you food during a situation where you might not be able to go to the grocery store. And it will provide an obstacle in a worst-case situation. Bamboo is another product that grows really fast. There's a lot of others. Just find a product that grows in your area. Next is distance. If I'm trying to guard a subdivision or anything, if I can have a big distance, a physical barrier of just plain and simple distance, that is an advantage to me. I can see him coming. I can evaluate if he's a threat or not, or just lost. Distance is what you want. If you're in a situation where the threat can get so close to you, they can walk behind another house or jump out, and they're actively here, like right here on the front row with me, then you have a problem. So work on distance. Anti-vehicle barriers. Use your imagination. The military uses concertina wire and all the other stuff. You have to be able to keep vehicles from coming into your subdivision. It doesn't have to look like that. It doesn't have to look like this. This is one taken currently of the riots overseas. You can have anything for a barrier. Use your imagination. This is, everyone has, if you live in a subdivision, everyone has a trash can on wheels. Okay? This makes an excellent barrier, excellent obstacle. If you have time, put it in the road, fill it full of dirt, take some rope, anything you have, tie them together. So don't say, I live in a subdivision, I have no obstacles. You'll find something to slow traffic down and protect your community. Use your imagination. Next is key terrain. A piece of terrain which offers a definite advantage to whoever controls it. If near your retreat, your subdivision, there's a key little knoll, a key little hill, something that would definitely offer you an advantage, you need to consider this in your defensive plan. Next is avenues of approach. You need to be able to watch roadways, paths, waterways, and open areas. This is an avenue of approach where people will walk and come in contact with you. The further you can see the threat from your retreat, the more time you have to react to it. Very important, avenues of approach. That's it again. Okoka. This is the key. Anytime the military does, if I went overseas and set up a short-term defense, this is in my head, this is what I'm running through. How can I use all these things to defend whatever I'm assigned to defend?